The first thing you notice isn't the darkness. It's the quiet. Not the normal kind of quiet. This isn't a peaceful evening after a long day. This is the heavy, unnatural silence that drops over a neighborhood when the power dies and doesn't come back. No traffic hum. No compressors kicking on. No TVs bleeding through thin walls. Just a dead, hovering stillness, and your heartbeat ticking louder in your own ears. You step out on your back porch and let your eyes adjust. No porch lights. No sodium glow bouncing off the low clouds. The sky is darker, sharper. You can see more stars than you remember ever seeing from this zip code. Somewhere a car alarm starts to wail, then chokes out halfway, battery dying with it. Then it hits you, with the grid down, every sound is now intelligence. You hear it before you even register what it is, a low, steady drone floating over the dead air. Not yours. 2, maybe 3 houses over. Gas-powered. Rhythmic. A generator. You can almost see the mental line it draws above the rooftops: fuel here. Food here. Refrigeration. Lights. Maybe heat. Someone didn't get the memo that the world just flipped from loud is normal to loud is a beacon. You listen closer. The drone bounces off the stillness, carrying farther than it ever would on a normal night. If you can hear it this clearly, anyone within half a mile can, too. The hungry. The desperate. The opportunistic. On your left, a door slams. No attempt to catch it, no hand on the frame. Just raw wood on metal, cracking through the neighborhood like a gunshot. You freeze, breath held. In the distance, a dog explodes into barking, chain clinking, claws on concrete as it throws its body against a fence. 2 houses down, voices answer it, raised, careless, not even trying to mask their volume. Relax, man, it's just the neighbors, someone calls out, nervous laugh hanging in the dark. They're broadcasting more than sound. They're broadcasting numbers, attitude, energy level. No discipline. No noise protocol. No understanding that tonight, sound travels like a flare, and the people watching aren't on their side. You slip back inside and close your own door slowly, guiding the latch with your thumb so it doesn't click. Even that tiny metallic sound feels too sharp in this new silence. You're suddenly aware of every squeak in your hinges, every rattle in your windows, every loose tool in the garage that could hit concrete at the wrong moment. In a functioning world, noise is background. In a failed one, noise is data, and data gets weaponized. Somewhere out there, someone hungry is listening the same way you are, mapping this neighborhood in their head. Generator over there. Dog over there. Loud, stressed voices over there. They're building a target package off nothing but sound. So here's the question you need to answer before the next blackout isn't just a storm, but a true SHTF event. When the grid goes down for real, does your home disappear into the noise floor, or does it light up the night acoustically like a neon sign? Because in a grid-down world, you're not just managing food, water, and security, you're managing your noise signature. And there are 5 specific sounds that will paint a bullseye on your house faster than any spotlight. Let's start with the loudest. Come and get it, you'll hear when everything else goes dark, the generator that turns your location into a dinner bell. The first sound that will get you killed in a real grid down isn't gunfire. It's that steady, comforting hum you used to love, a generator. Picture your neighborhood on night 3 of a blackout. The sky is star-heavy, no streetlights, no traffic, no air conditioners, no background noise. It's not quiet like a camping trip. It's empty. Your hearing stretches farther than it ever has in your life. Out past the cul-de-sac, someone finally cracks. They fire up a portable gas generator. From inside their living room, it feels like survival. Lights kick on, the fridge sighs back to life, maybe a TV glows with an old DVD. But step outside their door, onto that cold, still air, and it is a beacon. A low mechanical drone that carries a quarter-mile, sometimes more. Every hungry, desperate person within that radius just heard the same message: fuel. Food. Comfort. Right here. That's the generator dinner bell effect. Now, I'm not telling you to throw your generator in the trash. I am telling you it cannot sound like a Harley idling in your driveway at 2 a.m. in a silent city. You need to start thinking in terms of acoustic discipline, the same way you think about light and line of sight. In a real SHTF, the guy who just wheels it onto the back patio and lets it roar is not a prepper. He's bait. You, on the other hand, have options. You can break line of sound the same way you break line of sight. Put the generator behind the largest, densest structure you own, far corner of the house, inside a detached garage or shed if you can vent it safely. Never closer to the street or an open field than it has to be. You can build a simple sound baffle box from materials you probably already have: scrap plywood, 2x4s, mineral wool or rock wool insulation, and old moving blankets. The goal is not to hermetically seal it. That will kill you with carbon monoxide and heat. The goal is to redirect and absorb sound, not trap it. Imagine a three-sided box around the generator, open toward your house, back to the threat side. The interior isn't smooth, it's jagged, soft, irregular. Insulation, blankets, even egg crate foam if that's what you've got. The roof is slanted to shed rain and layered to soak up vibration. Exhaust is extended with high-temperature piping away from where you and your family sleep, vented out and up, not sideways into a neighbor's line of sound. And you never let that thing vibrate against bare concrete or steel. Rubber pavers, old vehicle floor mats, even cut-up tires under the feet will cut the transmission of sound straight into the ground. Now ask yourself honestly, if you killed every light in your place, stepped 50 yards down the street, could you hear your generator clearly over the ambient night? If the answer is yes, someone with hunger in their gut can, too. One more layer: operational timing. Do you really need that generator running at 2 a.m., or can you cluster your power use in short, predictable windows when there's more background noise, late afternoon, early evening when others might be moving, talking, scrounging? The less time your signal is in the air, the fewer ears will lock onto it and triangulate. Most people never run that drill. They never walk away from their own house, in the dark, with the generator on, and listen like a predator. That's the mindset shift. Stop thinking like the homeowner who wants comfort, start thinking like the hunter who's trying to hear weakness. And generators are just the obvious one. The loudest mistake. Because once you start listening like that, really listening, you'll realize there are a dozen smaller sounds in your own home doing the exact same thing, and most of them are coming from things you touch every single day without thinking: your doors and your windows. Now we get to the sound almost nobody lists in their prep plans, but every scavenger and marauder is trained to hear: the sound of work. Picture this: the neighborhood's been dark for weeks. No traffic. No leaf blowers. No garbage trucks. Just wind, insects, the occasional distant shout. Then, from 2 streets over, clang, clang, the metallic ring of a hammer on steel. A ratchet clicking. A saw pulling through wood. It might as well be a lighthouse beam sweeping through the night. In a grid-down reality, that's not home improvement. That's a broadcast. It says, we've got tools. We've got materials. We're building. We expect a future. And to desperate, hungry people, that sounds like opportunity. Listen to it in your head. A cordless drill whining. Nails being driven. Gravel crunching under boots as someone moves load after load of supplies. A tarp being dragged and snapped into place. Each one is a data point to anyone listening through the silence. Count the strikes, an old infantry instructor told me once. You'll know how big the job is. Same rule applies here. 10 hammer blows. Minor fix. 100. That's construction. That means lumber. That means hardware. That probably means a stash big enough to protect. Now add pattern recognition. Work during the day, quiet at night. They'll assume discipline. Work at dawn and dusk, never in full daylight. They'll assume caution and tactics. Work late at night, loud and careless. They'll assume exhaustion and vulnerability. None of this means you stop working. You just stop advertising. Choose tools that don't scream your presence. Hand saws over circular saws when possible, rubber mallets over metal on metal, pre-cut and pre-fit materials now, while the world is still loud, so you don't have to hack and hammer later when every sound travels a mile. Sandbag the work area. Hang thick blankets or moving pads around high-noise tasks. Use the interior of the house for cutting and assembly, then move parts outside in a single, quiet window. And timing matters. If the wind picks up, that's your moment. If there's a distant gunshot, a barking spree, a motorcycle ripping past on some main road, that's your cover. You're not trying to be silent. You're trying never to be the loudest, clearest signal on the grid. Ask yourself, right now, if you had to repair a broken doorframe, patch a fence, or reinforce a window tonight with zero power, what would that actually sound like from 50 yards away? From 100? From someone lying in the dark, listening for exactly that? If you've stuck with me this far, you're already in the small percentage thinking at this level. So look around your own place and be honest, which of your sounds would get you killed first? The generator? The dog? The arguments? The work? Because in the end, when the drones, cameras, and cell towers go cold, there's one last sound signature we haven't talked about yet, the one that tells people not just what you have, but exactly what kind of threat you are. Out there, in the dark, someone is always listening for a mistake. Generator drone. Slamming doors. Barking dogs. Loose mouths and loud radios. The sound of work. In a grid-down world, those aren't just noises, they're intelligence. Each one is a data point for the kind of person who hunts by ear, not by sight. Picture it. 2 houses on the same dead street. House 1, hum of a generator bleeding out into the night, metal gate banging in the wind, dog going off every time something moves, voices arguing, hammer hitting something in the backyard. House 2, no hum, no slam, no shouting, no rhythmic clanging. Maybe a faint, controlled murmur now and then, ended quickly. Doors close with a dull thud. Dog, if it exists, is either quiet or completely under control. No obvious pattern of work or activity. You're cold, hungry, and desperate. Which house do you walk toward? It doesn't matter what you think you'd do. What matters is what the worst version of your neighbor would do. Or the guy drifting in from 3 towns over. The grid going down doesn't erase predatory logic, it amplifies it. Every sound you make answers questions you never want a stranger to be asking about you. Do they have fuel? Do they have food? Do they have manpower? Are they organized, scared, careless, armed? Silencing those 5 sounds isn't about paranoia. It's about denying data. It's about rewriting your footprint so that, when someone does that mental map of the neighborhood in their head, you don't even make the cut. You want to move from obvious target to uncertain maybe to probably empty to forget it, not worth it. That is the real end state of acoustic security, not just being quiet, but being forgettable. So here's the question you need to wrestle with after this. If your power went out tonight and stayed out, what does your house sound like from 50 yards away? From the street? From the next block? If you sat out there and just listened, would you walk toward your own front door? If this breakdown forced you to rethink even one habit, one noise, one careless tell you've been giving off, then take a second and lock that in. And if you want to go deeper into turning your home into a hard-to-find, hard-to-read target when everything else falls apart, stick around. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next briefing. Because in a true SHTF scenario, the people who survive aren't just the ones who can shoot, move, and communicate. They're the ones who can do it without being heard.